out with those losers. Not trying to judge, but I'm not interested in hanging out in the desert with a bunch of hippies, taking ecstasy, going, "Hey man, where are the porta potties?" Like, you're inside one.
What about Stagecoach, though? What about Stagecoach?
No, definitely not.
Okay.
No, absolutely not.
Because I did learn that there's a difference between Coachella and Stagecoach. Stagecoach is more of a country music vibe.
Yeah.
Okay.
I'm not into the music festival. It's just not my thing.
By the way, coming up in just moments, we will have a Jonas Knox, Brady Quinn social media branding update. But first, in college football, Tennessee moving on from starting quarterback Nico Iamaleava after he reportedly held out from practice Friday as part of an NIL contract dispute. Yahoo Sports reporting Iamaleava has already submitted paperwork to enter the transfer portal. We have a new leader at the Masters. It is Rory McIlroy here in round 3 today. He is 4 under through 4. He is at 10 under par overall. He has a 2-shot lead over Justin Rose and Bryson DeChambeau. And the biggest reason why, an eagle on the second hole. Here's how it sounded on Sirius XM Masters Radio.
Rory McIlroy.
Number 1 on your car radio preset and the new and improved iHeartRadio app. WINCA in Miami, WMIB FM HD2 Fort Lauderdale. Free never sounded so good.
1-0 pitch. Stowers cracks that one out to center and deep. Siri is back. He looks up and it's gone. The Marlins waste no time. Kyle Stowers with a 2-run shot, and they take a 2-0 lead in the first.
Miami Marlins baseball is on deck.
2-1. That kicks away from Rodriguez. Hill breaks for the plate. There will be no throw. And on a wild pitch, the Marlins walk it off again. 1-2. Conine lifts out to left field. Tommy Pham working back to the warning track. So is Sawinski. They look up and it's gone. Griffin Conine to left center. And we're tied at 2 in the 7th.
Marlins on deck. Brought to you by ADT, the official smart security partner of the Miami Marlins and Norwegian Cruise Line. Experience more at sea. Let's head out to the ballpark. Here's your host, Steven Strong.
Nice job, Ricardo. Welcome from Lone Depot Park on a picture-perfect 80-degree Miami Saturday. The roof and the walls are ajar, and we're ready to bring you some baseball. You're listening to Miami Marlins baseball on the radio, Fox Sports 940 Miami, game 14 of 162. And this afternoon, we bring you an NL East matchup between the 6-7 Washington Nationals and your 6-7 Miami Marlins. 32-year-old right-hander Trevor Williams gets the nod for Davey Martinez Nationals for the 3rd time this season. Sandy Alcantara will go opposite, who added a new addition to his family on Monday. Congratulations to him and his wife. He did miss his last start. He's on 10 days of rest and will make his 3rd start of the season for the Marlins. It all starts at 4:10 right here on the Marlins Radio Network. Hi, everyone. Thanks for making Marlins on Deck a part of your Saturday afternoon with Jack McMullen and 4-time World Series champion Jeff Nelson. I'm Steven Strom. Got a cool show for you today. We'll first hear from Clayton McCullough on Sandy Alcantara. The big story today is Sandy's on 10 days of rest and how it will affect him. We'll get more details with Clayton in a little bit. Josh Bell, the former Marlin and current first baseman for the Washington Nationals, joins the program. Got a chance to catch up with him this morning. We'll get you at the count with Sandy and Trevor Williams. We'll get some back and forth, too. Jack will come on for segment 4. We got a couple of good nuggets from Kyle Stowers this afternoon at the clubhouse. Want to discuss that. Expo question of the day at Marlins Radio and Steve's guarantee to victory. So I'd mentioned it before. Sandy was supposed to start in Atlanta on Sunday. He was added to the paternity list on Monday. Again, congratulations to him and his family. He did miss that start, which means the last time we saw Sandy was against the Mets right here at Lone Depot Park 10 days ago. Here was Clayton McCullough addressing Sandy's start and if there's any concerns with the length of time without an outing.
Sandy, knowing him, he needed everything he knew he needed to get ready for the start. You trust in him. He's going to, be at home and take care of what he needed to do to get ready for this. So no concern on that end with him being prepared for this. He was able to get in all the throwing and mound work that he needed between, the time that he was away from us. Sandy will be ready from that regard.
What's next for him, you think, as he continues to build here in 25?
I think it's just continuing to get starts under his belt. I think, in all fairness to him, like, it is a major procedure that, you come back from, and now you're back into competing at the major league level. I think we saw, what the stuff looked like in spring and how the stuff has been early on. That's been good. And then it's just a matter of getting back out there and getting back used to a 5-day routine and competing again. So I think we'll just continue to see that him take steps in that regard as he just gets further and further away from the recovery process.
All right, so that was Marlins manager Clayton McCullough on Sandy Alcantara, who, again, we have not seen pitch since April 1st against the Mets. He went 5 innings, gave up 2 runs, but he was pulled in that game early with those 70 pitches, which questioned, what was going on, but it was more a fatigue thing for Sandy. So maybe a blessing in disguise. He gets 10 days off before his next start here again against the Washington Nationals. Awesome nugget, too, on the game notes. Sandy Alcantara has won his last 8 starts against the Nationals. He's 6-0 with a 1.61 ERA. He's been fabulous. He's looking to become the first starter to win 7 consecutive decisions against Washington since Clayton Kershaw did it 9 times in a row from 2012 to 2017. So that's what's on the line here for Sandy. Marlins also would love to bounce back after yesterday. They led 4-0, ended up losing last night to the Nationals in Game 1. Plenty more ahead. We'll have Josh Bell on next 410 First Pitch right here on the Marlins Radio Network.
Mientras tanto,
Extra base hit in a Marlins uniform. First pitch, Mervis crushes out to right. Kelnick is back. He's looking up, and it's into the chop house and gone. Matt Mervis with the tone setter in the first. A 2-run homer, and the Marlins up 2-0 right away. Serving as the backup catcher right now. 1-1. Now on a bouncing ball over to third base. Paulie has it. On to second for 1. On to first in time for the double play. Nearly a shift beater. The lefty bat Baldwin bounced one over to typical shortstop positioning. That's where Graham Paulie was.
Line drive, that's a base hit. And there's the first Major League RBI for Liam Hicks. Have a night. And the Marlins lead 3-0.
Baseball season is 18.
There's another drive by Mervis, deep to right field. That ball is gone and way out of here. Have a night, Matt Mervis. His second homer as a Marlin. A solo shot here in the top of the 7th.
Whoa. Family looking on. They're loving it. 104 off the bat. 421 feet to right center field. Mervis in Miami. Start to dig it.
A lot of firsts for you today. You had your first extra base hit, your first RBI, your first caught stealing, your first multi-hit game. Which one was your favorite?
Probably first win behind the plate. I'd say that's the most important. So I'd say that was my first, that was the most important thing to me, and I was really happy with that.
What if I told you last year you were in Double-A, that a year later you would be navigating this lineup, shutting them out with the help of your pitchers, of course, and having an offensive game like you had today?
It'd be pretty hard to believe you, to be honest. I know.
the one, the only, the Palm Beaches. Plan your trip at thepalmbeaches.com.
All right, let's do some housekeeping here on the Marlins Radio Network. Marlins on deck, Steven Strom, Jack McMullen, Jeff Nelson, 410 First Pitch, Game 2 of this 3-game set. Marlins and the Nationals, Fox Sports 940 Miami. The Nationals have recalled Nasim Nunez from AAA Rochester and placed shortstop C.J. Abrams on the 10-day IL with a right hip flexor strain. Okay, so that's the roster move as far as the Washington Nationals are concerned. And because I wanted to read that, our next guest, Josh Bell, one of my favorite guys that I've gotten to cover, he is back in the 305, but with a different team. Bell was on that 2023 playoff squad that made a late surge in the season to punch their ticket to the postseason. He was traded to the Marlins on the last day of the trade deadline in 2023 from Cleveland. He was really struggling at the time. He ended up hitting .270 with 11 home runs and 26 RBIs those final 53 games. I had a chance to chat with him this morning about his memories, who he still talks with from Miami, and what it's like rolling up to Lone Depot in a different uniform.
Well, obviously, it's a little bit different. Just seeing the jerseys over there and understanding, that I know that clubhouse pretty well. I know some of the players over there, but it's still go time, and it's still time to compete.
Let's go back to that 2023 season. You're traded here in the middle of the year. You guys make that playoff push. What's the sticking point from that year?
I mean, it was a lot. I mean, I know that we kind of had our backs up against the wall. We had that wild card push, and I'm pretty sure we played 500 ball, but it felt like we were, right in every last game that we played. Took the field knowing that we could win that night. And it was a lot of fun. We had some injuries towards the end with Sandy and Yuri getting shut down for the year, so it kind of cut our chances a little bit short in the postseason, but it's something I'll never forget, that push.
You had so many I think when you first got traded here, maybe it wasn't the first night or the second night. It was the Philly series. You came up with the big hit. I think it was the Trey Turner one.
Yeah, that was the first night. Yeah, it was like hit a homer off Wheeler, and then, got a ball past Turner somehow, and Stalling scored and ended up winning that game. And I think we went on a rough stretch after that, and that's probably why we were only at 500 at the end of the year. But, that kind of – set the standard for how we can play and just being the comeback kids.
Any guys on the team that you still chat with?
Yeah, actually, I met up with Xavier last night. Caught up with him in a little bit. Obviously, he's still doing it. He's still chasing after 400, which is cool to see. I'm boys. I played with Curry, too. I know he just got DFA'd yesterday, but, I played with him in Cleveland. He's good people.
Josh Bell with us now on Marlins on Deck. How's DC treating you?
It's great. I know it. That's where me and my wife had our first kid. So it's cool being back, and it's cool, having a similar drive back to the ballpark through the monuments and all that. And it's nice knowing that, the coaching staff for the most part is the exact same as when they traded me away. So it's nice just feeling comfortable again.
You're such a cerebral guy. And when the torpedo bat came out, you were one of the first guys. I don't know why I thought of it, like Josh would definitely be tinkering with this, or I'm just very curious on your just overall take on this.
Yeah, I mean, I had definitely ordered some. I saw it last year for the first time with Stanton, and I thought it was outlandish, and I thought it was something that only he could do because he was an older player. But just seeing it this year, obviously it started off really strong, and the last week or so, those names that went off with it aren't having as much success. Sure. But that's baseball. I'm definitely going to try it out. I think it'll help me more right-handed than left-handed because I tend to get jammed more righty. So if I move the barrel down closer to my hands, maybe I could, add slug in the air that way. So time will tell. I'll definitely try it, though.
Stay healthy and good luck past Sunday. Not today or tomorrow. Thanks for the time.
Awesome. Thank you.
All right, very good. Josh Bell, former Marlin and first baseman now for the Washington Nationals. He's going to bat fifth for the Nats. And I did want to tell this story because, through whatever season, whoever team you go with, you develop these really cool relationships that, you hope would last, I would say, a lifetime, and being able to storytell. And one of the stories that I always like to tell about Josh Bell is when he was traded to Miami over the trade deadline. I mean, the Marlins were really in a funk. They were 10-17 in that month of July and ended up really turning it up towards the end of the season and getting into the postseason. But what I wanted to tell the story about was when Bell was traded from Cleveland to Miami, he got a flight, I think it was 5-6 in the morning, and got into Miami. I got in for the game at around 1 o'clock. Clubhouse opened at 2:30. It was a 6:40 game. And we had run into Josh Bell. I couldn't believe how enormous he was. I mean, Josh Bell is a big dude. He walks by us. He introduces himself. And we asked him, how long have you been here? And he's like, I've been here the last couple of hours. And you just were like, whoa. Like, this is a guy that just got traded here, that had a flight at 5 in the morning, that got into Miami in the wee hours of the morning. And here he was he was drenched, sweating, working out, trying to get his body ready for a 6:40 first pitch, and it was against the Philadelphia Phillies. We had articulated that during the interview, that game, he took Zach Wheeler deep. He ended up extending the game in the 11th inning. The Marlins ended up winning that game in 12 or 13 innings. But that pretty much told me everything I needed to know about Josh Bell, the way that he went about his work, his professionalism, and his impact, because especially down in that dugout, he was such a role model for a lot of those guys, like he articulated as well. He still talked with Xavier Edwards, went out to dinner with him last night. So all in all, we wish Josh Bell, at least from Marlins Radio up here, all the best of luck, except for today and tomorrow, like I said in the interview. Good stuff, Josh Bell. Thank you very much. Let's break. We'll get you ahead of the count with Sandy Alcantara and Trevor Williams. That's your matchup on the mound. 4:10 first pitch. Back in 2 minutes on the Marlins Radio Network.
Welcome to from McGill. That one ripped on the ground, up the gut. That's through for a base hit. Here comes Stowers. He's getting the runaround. Taylor's throw coming home, cut off, and it's an RBI single for Matt Mervis. The Marlins are on the board. Yeah,
being around that every day.
First pitch here to Nick Fortes. That one is lofted into left field. Nimmo coming on. The runners are on the move. Nimmo can't get there, and it gets past him. Nimmo, that thing just died in the grass, but Bride does come in to score, and Nick Fortes loops an RBI single into shallow left field. It's 2-0 Fish. That run is charged to McGill, but the Marlins are capitalizing on the infield grass. Everybody else, their entry step takes them in. Next pitch, Bride lines through the right side. That's a base hit. Edwards comes in to score, and that has to feel so good for Jonah Bride. Not only is it 3-0 Marlins, that's his third hit of the year, and that snaps a really tough skid for him. Meyer, runner on the move. Jonah off and running. Matt Mervis lifts one high in the air out to right. Soto back at the track, and it's gone. Matt Mervis sent one in the sky, and let's see how far it goes. That one just over the wall in right, a 2-run homer, and the Marlins take a 5-0 lead in the top of the 9th inning.
Yeah, I mean, can't really describe it. It was great. Stowers at bat before to move X over and X tagging up on the play. I mean, I think that made a huge difference. Get that guy on third for me and make the job easier. So, good.
Your manager puts you in the 3 spot today, and you were 2 for 28 coming into this game. What does that mean to you?
Yeah, I mean, jeez.
Stowers just gave Jonah 2 cold waters on a 40-degree day.
No, feel like you said, Clayton put me in the 3-hole.
Start saving today. Go to GoodRx.com. GoodRx is not insurance.
Hey, this is Kyle Stowers, and you're listening to Marlins on Deck with Steven Strom on the Marlins Radio Network.
Ironic Kyle Stowers. You must have known you were part of this show today in segment 4. We'll hear from Kyle Stowers in a couple of minutes here. I'm Steven Strom, host of the program Marlins on Deck. Jack McMullen and Jeff Nelson with me as well. Jack will join me next segment, 4:10 first pitch. Game 2 of this 3-game set. The Nationals took game 1 last night, 7-4 over Miami. Let's get you ahead of the count, and I think I want to preface this segment with the Marlins starting pitchers have been excellent. They have held opponents to 3 runs or less in 11 of the club's first 13 games and 2 runs or less in 10 of those contests. Good job by the Marlins comms team. Great nugget there as Sandy Alcantara will take the hill for the first time in 10 days. 29-year-old father of 2 now. Congratulations to the Alcantara family. He will make his 3rd start of 2025. Remember, he missed his start in Atlanta on Sunday. So, again, he's on 10 days of rest. We last saw Sandy on April 1st against the New York Mets, allowed 2 runs on 3 hits over 5 innings. 4 punch-outs. He earned his first W of the season. He did throw 70 pitches. I know that was a head-scratcher. Clayton McCullough addressed it post-game. Sandy was just fatigued, and he said that he was affected by the heat. We will see what happens today. It's 80 degrees. The roof and walls are open. Hopefully that is not the case. Sandy Alcantara, in 15 starts against the Washington Nationals, is 7-6 with a 3.42 ERA over 97 and a third innings pitch. Ironically, his last start against Washington was the start he was forced to miss the entire 2024 season with Tommy John. Now, good nugget here as well. The Marlins have won each of Sandy's last 8 starts against the Nationals. He's 6-0 with a 1.61 ERA in that span. He is looking to become the first starter to win 7 consecutive decisions against Washington since Clayton Kershaw did it. From 2012 to 2017, Kershaw won 9 in a row. Sandy will go opposite Trevor Williams, who signed a 2-year, $14 million contract to come back to Washington after making 13 starts. You're probably asking yourself, wow, 13 starts and he got that contract? Well, here's why. First of all, he spent the bulk of his season on the IL with a right flexor strain. But those 13 starts, he was superb. 6-1, a 2.03 ERA. And most importantly, the Nats were 10-3 in those starts. So far for Trevor Williams, he is 1-0 with a 5.40 ERA over 10 innings pitched. He earned the win against Arizona on Sunday, allowing 3 runs on 5 hits, 2 walks, 6 punch-outs. Thing to watch for with Trevor Williams is his command. He threw 97 total pitches against Arizona on Sunday. Guess how many for strikes? 57. That is a 58% clip. The Marlins have to have a good eye. It starts at the top with Xavier Edwards. Career-wise against the Miami Marlins, Trevor Williams has made 9 starts, 5 appearances from the pen, 1-4, a 4.95 ERA, over 56 in a third innings pitch. So Sandy is looking to get the first win of the homestand for the Marlins here. Trevor Williams looking to continue to play good baseball as the Washington Nationals took 2 out of 3 against the D-backs, 2 out of 3 against the Los Angeles Dodgers, and today can pretty much seal, or not pretty much, can seal a series win against the Miami Marlins with a win this afternoon. Williams versus Sandy. We'll have Jack on next to talk Kyle Stowers and his recent surge right here on the Marlins Radio Network.
Outdoor video board, Las Vegas. Here's the 0-2 pitch. Line drive, left field. Will it stay up? Conine diving in the backhand. Did he catch it? He did. What a catch by Conine in left field. On the backhand, saves a run, and the Marlins get out of the inning. Wow. What a play by Griff.
Has at first. And the 1-1 from Holmes to Hicks. That one is peeled down the left field line. That's in for a base hit. Edwards comes in to score, and Conine right behind him. Nimmo picks it up and fires it in, but Liam Hicks peels a 2-run single down the left field line. Soft contact and walks. It's 2-0 Marlins in the first. 1-2. Hicks rolls one down the first base line. That is a fair ball. Pete Alonso takes it to the bag himself, but Conine comes in to score, and Lopez pushes to third base. So a productive RBI out for Liam Hicks. And it's 6-3 Mets in the sixth. 1-2. Hicks rolls one down the first base line. That is a fair ball. Pete Alonso takes it to the bag himself, but Conine comes in to score, and Lopez pushes to third base. So a productive RBI out for Liam Hicks. And it's 6-3 Mets in the sixth. On set at the belt. It is 1-1. Hill lifts that one out to center field and deep. Tyrone Taylor back at the track, at the wall, and it's gone. Derek Hill with a 2-run opposite field blast, and all of a sudden, it's a 1-run game. 6-5 New York in the sixth. That's Hill's first homer of the year. He is on the way. And that one is lifted out to left center field. Conine got a good break. Conine drifting back. So is Hill. Derek Hill dives, and Hill makes the catch. Derek Hill, a full extension.
Company.com.
Stowers rips one. That is a fair ball down the first base line. Paulie in to score. X right behind him. Kyle Stowers going line hunting tonight. He's got a 2-run double.
I think when I'm able to get in the pull side, it means I'm on time. The other day against the Mets, hit a couple balls the other way, but, it was with the intent of being on time. And, so I think when I'm ready to hit the ball as the pitch is being released, I can hit the ball to all fields. And I think pull side's a good indication of that.
All right, that was Kyle Stowers, who has a hit in 5 of his last 6 games. He had a double and a triple to the pull side to right field. Steven Strom, Jack McMullen, Jeff Nelson. And I thought it was a really interesting bite, Jack. Expand more on your conversation with Kyle Stowers that you had this morning.
Yeah, I mean, it was fascinating to chat with Kyle about that because his big hits this year, we've really seen him go to right field. That's a lefty bat pulling the baseball. You think about the walk-off winner on opening day, that was right down the right field line. His double and triple yesterday, right down the right field line. We have seen him go out of the ballpark to right center. That's where his only homer went. But we've seen this guy, drive it into the right center field gap as well. So when he's going right, it's clearly to the pull side. And there's a really talented young outfielder on Washington side, James Wood, and he does not pull the baseball. He's always going the other way. A lot of guys, when they are on time, it seems like they want to drive the ball up the middle or the other way. So for a lefty bat to left center field. But Kyle, he feels like he does a really nice job of getting to those baseballs. And when he's on time, he's drilling the ball to right center field. That can result in some serious elevation and maybe a couple more homers than just the one that we've seen so far.
We'll see Kyle Stowers in right field and bat second. Let's do one negative. I won't even say negative, a guy that needs to get going because this team is so reliant on Otto Lopez. Looking at the numbers, Jack, since April 4th, 2 for 20. That's 100 over the last 5 games. What do we need to see from Otto?
I don't know. It's 5 games, and like a lot of them came in really cold weather. Think about that. Like 2 of them came in New York, and then 1 came in Atlanta. Like I don't know. 5 games it's a weird sample to grab for me personally, and it's so early. I understand that it's the only available sample, but what we've learned over the course of last year, B, spring training, and C, the beginning of this year, is that Otto Lopez is an incredibly good baseball player. And we got to give this guy 5 games to figure it out. He had the off day in New York on Wednesday. He had the off day on Thursday. You know what? Anybody can have a cold night. I look for Otto to get going. And listen, I know you got Steve's guarantees here. If Otto was involved, I would not be shocked.
Okay, very good. He'll bat third. Clayton McCullough giving him that opportunity and playing second base. Okay, Sandy, we haven't seen him in 10 days. Yeah. Congratulations. We've said it a billion times. A new addition to his family. Again, we got a chance to chat with him a couple days ago. Congratulate him and shake his hand. Great to see him back on the mound, Jack. I don't know what to take of this. I know it's been 2 starts. I know he's coming off Tommy John. But when we think Sandy, we think a guy that gets deep into the game, 7, 8 innings. Last week, we saw him pitch only 70 pitches. He did get the win. But what version of Sandy is maybe he evolving into?
I don't know if it's evolving into something. I think he's getting back to Sandy. I think that this is a guy that is trying to recapture that 2022 form, even that 2023 form where he was going deep into ball games. And that's not more tough because he just skipped a turn because he was having his second child. That's more tough because he's coming off of a major elbow surgery. So I would give Sandy some time to build up. And frankly, like, you can't do all of that over the course of spring training. He missed an entire year last year recovering from Tommy John surgery. So in terms of Sandy, I think you're going to see a similar Sandy to what you saw in 2022. You just got to give him a couple turns.
Miami starting pitchers. I read this before, Jack, but I think it's very prevalent now. Okay. They have held opponents to 3 runs or less in 11 of their first 13 games and 2 runs or less in 10 of those contests. The starting pitching has been awesome. Now it's about getting the offense and getting the bullpen back because the bullpen has struggled over these last couple of days.
Yeah, and it's great to have Jesus Tinoco back in the fold as well. The roster move earlier today, Tinoco was activated from the 15-day injured list. Luarbert Arias was the corresponding move.
Yep.
He was optioned to AAA Jacksonville. So Tinoco back in the fold really helps. This starting rotation, I think it's 7th in Major League Baseball in starter ERA right now. So this is one of the better starting rotations. And oh, by the way, Ryan Weathers isn't back yet. And Yuri Perez is due back around the All-Star break. Like,
and if that was a teaser of what we were going to see from Edward Cabrera last night, sign me up.
I mean, come on, man. Like, this is just one start of Cabby. So this starting rotation has been sensational so far.
All right, so Sandy, again, is looking to become the first starter to win 7 consecutive decisions against the Washington Nationals since Clayton Kershaw did it 2012 to 2017. He won 9 in a row. Jack, thank you very much. We'll hear Jack and Nelly on here, about 4:10? So we got 14 minutes right here? Okay, we'll break. We'll get our Expo question, Steve's guarantee, and then we'll play some baseball right here on the Marlins Radio Network.
And the pitch from McGill. That one ripped on the ground, up the gut. That's through for a base hit. Here comes Stowers. He's getting the runaround. Taylor's throw coming home, cut off, and it's an RBI single for Matt Mervis. The Marlins are on the board.
Yeah, being around that every day.
First pitch here to Nick Fortes. That one is lofted into left field. Nimmo coming on. The runners are on the move. Nimmo can't get there, and it gets past him. Nimmo, that thing just died in the grass, but Bride does come in to score, and Nick Fortes loops an RBI single into shallow left field. It's 2-0 Fish. That run is charged to McGill, but the Marlins are capitalizing on the infield grass. Everybody else, their entry step takes them in. Next pitch, Bride lines through the right side. That's a base hit. Edwards comes in to score, and that has to feel so good for Jonah Bride. Not only is it 3-0 Marlins, that's his 3rd hit of the year, and that snaps a really tough skid for him. Meyer, runner on the move. Jonah off and running. Matt Mervis lifts one high in the air out to right. Soto back at the track, and it's gone. Matt Mervis sent one in the sky, and let's see how far it goes. That one just over the wall in right, a 2-run homer, and the Marlins take a 5-0 lead in the top of the 9th inning.
Yeah, I mean, can't really describe it. It was great. Stowers at bat before it's a move X over and X tagging up on the play. I mean, I think that made a huge difference. Get that guy in third for me and make the job easier. So, good.
Your manager puts you in the 3 spot today, and you were 2 for 28 coming into this game. What does that mean to you?
Yeah, I mean, jeez.
Stowers just gave Jonah 2 cold.
FanDuel Sports Network, Marlins games, announcers, and more Marlins games. Did I mention they have the Marlins? Stream now.
Number 1 on your car radio preset and the new and improved iHeartRadio app. WINCA in Miami, WMIB FM HD2 Fort Lauderdale. Free never sounded so good.
About 12 minutes away from first pitch live at Lone Depot Park here in Miami. The roofs and the walls are open, and it is just an absolute picture-perfect day for baseball. 80 degrees. Sandy Alcantara will start for Miami. 10 days of rest for him after him and his family added a new addition to the family. Congratulations to them. He will go opposite Trevor Williams. I'm Steven Strom with Jack McMullen and Jeff Nelson. Again, 11 minutes away from first pitch. Want to give you some roster moves. We discussed them, but not together. The Nationals recalled Nasim Nunez from AAA Rochester and placed shortstop C.J. Abrams on the 10-day IL with a right hip flexor strain today. And then the Miami Marlins made the following roster moves. Jesus Tinoco has been reinstated from the 15-day IL. Lou Albert Arias option to AAA Jacksonville. That is important because Miami's bullpen has really struggled, particularly over the last couple of games. They have allowed 26 runs in 26 and a third over the last 7 games, and Miami has lost 5 of their last 7. All right, our X-Poll question of the day. We talked about Sandy, and we talked about the success he's had against the Washington Nationals. He would look to become the first starter to win 7 consecutive decisions since who did it from 2012 to 2017. Make sure to vote at Marlins Radio. It's time for Steve's Guarantee.
Batter up. Batter up.
Let's play some ball.
First pitch is moments away. Time now for Steve's Guarantees.
Well, I'm looking at the top of the order, particularly the table setter, Xavier Edwards, who is 4 for 4 lifetime against Trevor Williams. And over his last 5 games, Xavier Edwards is killing it. 389, he's 7 for 18. I like him to have a 2-hit game. That would be the 5th time he has a multi-hit game this season. Xavier Edwards batting 300. All is well in the world. I like him to be the catalyst to start this offense up here on this Saturday afternoon. Folks, I hope you got the itch for first pitch because when we come back, Jack McMullen paints a picture. Jeff Nelson, he's ready to rock. Starting lineups in first pitch is right around the corner. Thanks for tuning in to the Marlins On Deck pregame show. I'm Steven Strom. Let's flip the M together, Miami. Marlins baseball is next. This is the Marlins Radio Network.